I'm going to start
an
intro video too, so we got a little countdown.
Oh, that's right. Sure do.
Oh, I like that. Ron, you gotta tell me when we go live so I can turn my phone down, man. Come on, bro.
I gotta do that, or hopefully my phone don't mess nothing up.
He always catches me every week.
You see, I learned by now. I don't even touch my phone.
He will see me holding my phone and wait for me to put it down, then go live, so he can hear. I know, Ron. I know. I understand.
I'm here for all of the drama.
Everybody sharing it? I can't hear the sound. I don't know why.
I'm sharing. I'm going to it right now to share it.
Am I supposed to share this?
Yeah, if you don't mind, you go to the Speak Easy page, and it should be like the one that's live. Just share.
Is it the share, like hit the share thing?
Yep, and it should. You click on right post, and it should.
You cannot start screen while the other participant is sharing.
It ain't share. It should share like that.
Hold on. It said I have to wait. It said I can't do it while y'all doing it. I don't know.
Oh, well, let me hurry up. He named it. They mad. They real mad.
Wait a minute.
My dude. All right, I'm done sharing.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Nope, we still can't do it.
Support your boys.
So on the Speak Easy page, if you go to it, it won't let you share it. Well, just share it from my page then. Because on my page, share it from mine.
Don't I gotta click out of this though to share? I don't want to leave this.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
on the Speak
that's
Easy
right.
page, if you go to it, it won't let you share.
Yeah, she can't because she got it. She's.
I don't know why you can't.
She uses Zoom. Share from mine. She on Zoom on her phone.
To share, I don't want to leave this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Don't click out of that.
Speak Easy page, if you go to it, it won't let you share.
Yeah, she can't because she got it. She's.
I don't know why you can't.
She uses Zoom. Share from mine. She on Zoom on her phone.
To share, I don't want to leave this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Don't click out of that.
Speak Easy page, if you go to it. Go to it, won't let you share.
Yeah, she can't.
As we make
I don't know why you
this
can't.
liberation and unity among all people of color, go type in the @DASPKEZ and give us a follow on all social media platforms.
Have to go to work with power face and have to show up in stores, try to be the nicest person they can be. Dealing with racial profiling, dealing with unarmed black men being pulled over and unarmed black women being pulled over for no reason. So I shout out to my
All right, I share it on your page. You good?
That are in the fight against what we're trying to bring to light.
I see you shared it to the page.
Equality and justice. Because we will achieve equality. We will get justice for everyone that's been mistreated. And we'll gain the common ground we need to live as one humankind, treated equally and fairly all across the board. We're gonna make it, y'all. Just keep pushing. I know we're tired. I know we're frustrated. I know we go through a lot of things day by day, but we're going to make it. Look ahead, look forward, speak your voice, make up your mind. We want to keep trying, get involved, get into the community, and then make it happen one breath at a time.
Hallelujah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to turn up because you know we about to bring it.
Y'all ready?
Let's go.
Countdown ready.
Let's go.
Put the boxing gloves on. Hush, why don't you welcome our guest today?
You ready for me to do it? You tell me when.
You can do it when the countdown hits 0.
I think that's how.
Okay. Hey, what's good? What's good, Facebook? What's good, Speakeasy Lloyd? What's good, family? It's your boy up. Here we go. Episode 21. They mad. They real mad, son. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. And as usual, every Thursday night, we gonna do this with you. So as usual, we got our normal panel. We got Ron Lowe. Say what's good.
What's bracking, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in.
We right on. We got our boy CJ. Fist up, let's go.
What's up, family? What's up, lawyers? Boy, 21 episodes, man. It's a blessing.
Straight up, bro. And we have a special guest joining us tonight. It's Miss Nina.
Hello.
She needs her introduction. Go ahead and talk to us, man.
Yes, hello. I'm glad to be here today. My name is Nina. I'm originally from Oregon. I'm out here in Florida, and I'm just happy to be here and be with like-minded people, and I'm just ready to do this. So let's do it.
Straight up, y'all. I never met nobody from Oregon, and I'm glad Oregon is in the freaking. I don't know how to spell Oregon sometimes, but you know what? I think she about to school us on what Oregon is like.
I was gonna say I didn't know there was black people in Oregon. I'm not.
Bruh.
So I'm passionate about what needs to be done because I can tell you what's going on out there.
Right.
I'm trying to make it safe for us black folk out there. Let me just say that.
Hey,
Oregon stand up.
all
Let's
35 of y'all. Oregon, let's go. All 35 of y'all. Look, ladies and gentlemen, you know how we do. We start off strong, large, and in charge. We about to hit you with our first topic. Our first topic is going to be led by, of course, CJ. You know, it's HBCUs versus major universities. Black people, what we going to do? CJ, talk to us.
Now, before we really get into it, I want to make sure that we understand that I'm not, or I will not feel some type of way for anyone of color going to any college you can get into. So if you can get into a PWI, a predominantly white institution, or if you get into a HBCU, one way or another, it does not matter. As long as you go into college, that's a great thing. But with that being said, though, I think to further our movement, to further our community, to further our worth, I think that we should funnel our major, like our players, our athletes, our scholars, they should come through HBCUs. Mm-hmm. It's no question.
Yep.
It's no question in my mind at all. I mean, I was looking up some, doing a little research, and Purdue University was doing a study, and it's still ongoing. But it says something about 55% of HBCU graduates strongly agreed that college prepared them for the outside world. Now, they took the same amount of African Americans from the PWIs, and it was only 33% that said that. When you, and like I said, not to say that I'm disregarding one from another, but when you have institutions, especially when I can get the same degree at an institution that was built for me, made for me, compared to going to a PWI that had racist ties, at one point didn't let black people in at all. I mean, not to say that if they offer a degree that you can't get at HBCU, then by all means go get it. But if you can get it and you can get it with your people, to me, it's just like investing in black. It's just like buying black. It's just like if we say we're going to donate and we say we're going to march, we're going to say we're going to do all that, then we have to send our kids and our scholars to those institutions when necessary.
I agree.
Ms. Nina, what you got for us?
For me, I agree a lot of what he's already saying, but for me, a big part of it, especially for someone like me that grew up in Oregon, I feel like the culture of it, just being around your people and the way they're going to teach you, the curriculum, just things that are going to cater to us as Black people in America. I feel like it will give us more sense of pride. I just think it's good for us in general as Black people to go to HBCU, you know, to go to these colleges, these Black colleges, because it does give us that, you know what I'm saying, that confidence, that sense of pride. Like, again, I've never had the chance to go to college or anything like that, but for me, I would definitely want to go to a Black college, just because I know that I'm going to be taught differently, and it's going to give me more pride and more confidence.
Right.
I don't know too much about
Right.
it, but again, like, for me, that's what's important. And I feel like it's a great networking, you know what I'm saying? Like, their homecomings are a big deal. They get a lot of attention. BET, like, for Black folks in general, it's just a great way for us to, like, get out there and to succeed. So that's really all I kind of have on that versus the
I love
PWI.
that. I love that. Ron?
They both said everything exactly how it should be. It's hard to disagree with what they said, but I'm gonna be different because I feel as though we need to start opening the way we think outside of the opportunities that America provided. How often do young Black kings and queens think about going outside of the country for education?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I see how you speak in my language, my brother. See, why wasn't that on the table? Who came up with this question? I came up with the question. Huh?
I like that.
So let's not blame the person who came up with the question.
HBCUs are great. Shout out to Howard. Shout out to all our people marching down south, keeping the traditions proud. And like CJ said off the jump, you should definitely try to get whatever opportunity you can. And if you can get into Harvard and Yale, power to you.
Right.
Yeah.
But my point, my perspective is just, I would like if our people slowly would transition to thinking outside of the box. Maybe I can go and build somewhere else and get education just as good at a lower price. Africa.
Right.
Oh no. One more thing on that.
I like the way the three of y'all think. My only issue with, I have no issues with HBCUs because I did a lot of studies on HBCUs, and I love what Howard University is doing. I love what the one in Louisiana, I can't think of off the top of my head, they're doing that's right down from LSU. The problem is a lot of us are transitioning away from the HBCUs and into the bigger schools because of something called accreditation. Unfortunately, you all, even though HBCUs prepare us for life better than the PWIs do, unfortunately, because most of us don't have really too much of a choice unless you're business owner minded, you work for a company. Companies are looking at where you went to school. And unfortunately, unless you're going to work for someone in that company that's hiring you that also went to the HBCU, they're looking at Alabama more than looking at Alabama State. Looking at Tennessee University, they're looking at Tennessee, not AT&T, but I can't think of the name. Tennessee. Quickly, also with money, kids that go to HBCUs are paying more than kids that actually go to a primarily bigger school in college because they're taking out more loans and more money at HBCUs than they are the other ones because HBCUs are losing funding. We're not funding like we used to. We're not putting money into them like we used to, even though the culture of the HBCU is the best culture that you'll find, that other people that don't look like us would rather go to HBCU than to a college that looks like all of them, which I get. What are we going to do to solve the HBCU crisis that's actually happening? Because we're not giving money to it anymore to actually continue the education.
Well, one I feel like it's just the opposite of what you said. We should be sending our children to HBCUs because if the funding is low, it's because we feel like that we can get some type of accreditation from another university. But it's ironic that when it comes to life and it comes to the world, that everything like marketing, they market to Black people. McDonald's won't hire somebody who speaks about them. but they will have a whole ad campaign. I'm loving it. They use our lingo, and everybody wants to be us.
That's true.
So if black people decided that HBCUs, the degrees we gonna get out of there, those are the degrees that we take serious. So for the business owners and the people that have the degrees and they want to start their own businesses, let's say if black people say, well, if you don't come through a HBCU, then we're only gonna hire people. If the CEO of Lowe's, a black man, said we're only hiring people on the executive board that came from HBCUs, things would change. So we have the power to make it change.
Yes,
we don't have to. We don't have to go to the PWIs. We don't have to, but we only feel like we need to be validated.
We only go to HBCU. Like, the guy from Lowe's. That's a good question. Did he go to HBCU?
I don't know where.
I want to know that.
Where did he go? Do you
I want to know because I don't. I want to know the answer to that. That's a good question you brought up because I feel like the people that are in places that look like us. Not the ones like Tajri Henson. She went to an HBCU. So CJ, she would feel your point 100% because she went to one, graduated from one. She understands exactly what it's like to go through, to understand that culture, and to make it happen for yourself. She would. Tajri Henson is a great example of that. You could be definitely easily successful by going to HBCU and becoming an actor and starting all the different campaigns she started, all the different organizations she started, the profit. But why is HBCUs? Because I used to go to the HBCU 11 miles up the street. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. They started transitioning more in 2016 enrollment to LSU over that. Why?
I'll say this, bro. Like you got to think about this. When you looked at the HBCUs back in the day, when the white colleges, the PWIs, was not allowing black people to come into those schools.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
The HBCUs were flourishing. That's how they became what they came. And like sports leads a lot of things. And when Alabama's, the Floridas, the Florida States, the Clemsons start allowing these black players, they started getting the best of the best. And so that's how they built. So what I'm saying is, if we had from jump, let's say if those brothers would have said no, y'all wasn't accepting us before, we gonna stay here. Can you imagine what them HBCUs could have been today? But let's not pretend that the reason some of these PWIs are the way they are today are off our backs. They off our backs, bro. So if we had kept our backs with we all are understanding that if we shifted, I feel like if we told all of our athletes, all of our scholars to go to HBCUs, it'll take 9 years, and the PWIs they won't even be on TV no more.
I agree, because remember the NFL will take you definitely either undrafted free agent, or they'll easily take you from HBCU because the NFL
they know it. They know it, bro.
See you, but it's like they opened it up, and this is the struggle that I have for you all. Y'all help me with this struggle. I study a lot of Malcolm X. Okay. And Ron knows this more than anything. The struggle that I have is Malcolm X. I struggle with, he talked about segregation being the worst thing. And in a way, I can see what he means, because we took away the power that we already had as an HBCU when they opened up to us. Oh, you can come in now. And so because we can come into there now, we ran to those types of schools, but we left our schools hanging from having, not saying those schools still don't have the best, but they actually have what's left over. When some of the ones that believe they're the best have went to these bigger colleges to make a name for themselves. Think about it. If I walk into a place and it's LSU you went to, but I went to Georgia State, I'm not saying I don't have a fair fighting advantage, but they're gonna look at that LSU first.
But that's only because we bent over backwards and let that happen.
Yeah,
that's
we gotta
the only reason.
For real. We gotta change
exactly.
it. We gotta build black schools, black businesses. Like, we cannot make it on top as a people until we start investing black. Like, they have us trained in our mind like that we suck doing things the way they want us to do it, which is going to these PWIs. We have to invest in our black schools, our black people, black education. Otherwise, we're going to keep doing the same cycle, thinking we need white folk. Not in a rude way, but we need white folk in order to succeed. And we got to learn how to not be codependent. You know what I'm saying? We can we can use them for things that we need, and we can, you know, coincide, whatever, do business, but we just can't be dependent on them and their colleges and their schools. And that's just what I think on that. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
CJ, what you over here doing?
Let's go. Oh, it feels good to have somebody in that full.
I think we lost Ush.
Yeah.
He got that Sprint internet today.
Oh, he got a Sprint internet.
Excuse our internet difficulties. My man got a storm going on.
Oh, y'all, wow.
Is he back?
I'll keep going.
There we go. I think we got his voice.
Okay.
So, as we end this debate, I just have one question. Like Malcolm X,
Trying to get...
how you gonna tell us to keep going, then interrupt? You back?
Okay, good. Okay, good. I'm back. All right, cool. Because that was crazy. The internet's real bad. It's been storming all day. It's real bad.
We told him that you got that Sprint internet.
Sprint. Get you. But that's the thing that I struggle with, seriously, with what you all just said, because when Malcolm X said that, I felt what he was saying by allowing us trying to push our way in actually lost us. It really didn't help us like we thought it would. And I can see that sometimes now, because somebody mentioned about buying black and doing things black, and I get that. And I think our schools, how do we convince our schools? How do we convince our black people to start enrolling back in those schools? How do we do that? What do we do?
You teach your kids from a young age, my brother.
Okay.
You indoctrinate them into HBCUs when they're young, just like how me and you talked about Tennessee and Florida when we was younger. We was indoctrinated.
We did.
Either one of us went to the school, so we still root for them to this day. You hear me? You have to indoctrinate your kids. Like, you have to start teaching your kids early. Do you understand me?
Right.
Bro, what hurts me so bad is that I didn't even really understand what HBCU was until I was in high school.
Yep, never even heard of it.
My kids it's not going to be an issue with them. So yes, if you can get it, if you're trying to aspire to be something greater, if we look at these HBCUs and you can't get a degree there, then of course we have to look at outside measures. But whatever you want to do, if we can go through and we can do it through us, let's go.
Yes.
Right. I love that. I think that's what we need to start doing. And that will build the accreditation back to our schools, because y'all, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you before we even end this point. As black people, we're not going nowhere. We're here to stay. So we might as well make our own rules, make our own justifications, make our own money, and we make ourselves the experts with our own if we want to. And there's nothing wrong with that, because they're going to want us. They're going to want to be us. CJ just talked about it with McDonald's. They're going to always want to be in us, to be a part of us. So give them us, but you have it with a stipulation. I'm going to go where I go, get the education I want, where I want, and I'm going to be the best I can be where I enroll. Any final thoughts on that one? Because I think that was a very powerful topic.
The last thing I just have to say is we got to change everything. You know, black education, black healthcare, you know what I'm saying? Black housing, black banking, black businesses, like everything we have to get back. You have to remember, we had great things, Black Wall Street. We had so many things we was doing. I want to get back to that. You know what I'm saying? I want to get back to black people as a whole, being, you know what I'm saying, being good. And because, you know, let's just look at it. Like, I mean, some of us, I'd like to say, is like, I'm more of a privileged black person. You know what I'm saying? I got to grow up. I didn't have to really grow up in the hood, in the ghetto like that. I had my little time in Cal, but you know what I'm saying? I know that like other black folks' experiences is not mine. And I want all black people to be straight. You know what I'm saying? Like us as a whole. That's all I got to say on that.
Right.
Let's go.
Nina has spoken, y'all. Nina has spoken.
Let's go.
You can't. If you argue with that, you ain't trying to be for us.
Let's
Look
go.
here. Topic 2. Our second topic that we're going to focus a little bit on, and I definitely want the comments to continue to come. Thank you for all the ones that are shouting out, Nicole and others that are saying things right now. We appreciate you. This one is dear to my heart, and I just want us to take a listen with this one. Mental health. Why don't we as Black people take it seriously? So this one being my topic, I just want to say
Big one.
we've been through a lot as Black people. And sometimes we take things to say, I'm going to just pray about it. I'm going to let God fix it. You know, it's going to be all right. I'm not going to worry about it. You know, it's in the Lord's hands. Which, don't get me wrong, those are good sayings. Somebody's music is like, I'm sorry. Somebody's music is like, we're up. Those are great sayings that we do. But by doing that, it becomes an excuse to face the situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you've grown up with trauma in your life, if you've grown up with issues in your life to where they've shaped who you are, but you've never talked to somebody about that trauma you faced as a Black person, from discrimination, hate, to people misusing you, to people counting you out, to people telling you you're not good enough, you're not going to amount to this, you're not going to amount to that, to being raised in homes, maybe one parent homes, where things happen and things don't happen, where you have to raise your brothers and sisters that are younger than you consistently, to where you're 16 raising a 14, 13, 12, 11, and 10-year-old, to try to figure out at 16 where you're going to work at and get your money together, and you know you want to go to college. You don't have the money, so you got to work all these different things just to even get to that point, or something happens in your life that you could not control. And these are all traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
And I understand we have faith, and I don't want anybody to confuse faith, because I have faith and I'm an ordained licensed minister. I have faith. But sometimes even in my faith, I cannot think clearly enough to even remember the actual scripture, to remember the actual thing that's going to bring to my remembrance how to deal with whatever I went through. That I have issues that I have in the past with my parents, and issues with other people that I've dealt with that's affecting me now, to where I'm still angry, I'm still hurt. And I keep saying, well, it'll work itself out. It'll be okay. We got to come to a point where we realize that's what mental health is for. As Black people, mental health guides you through those issues that you've had, lets you speak to someone about your traumatic issues. And guess what? We have millions of Black mental health people in place, counselors that will talk to you. I love what Atlanta just did by opening up for free 8 weeks of services to Black people, to let them be able to shift all the hurt that's just happened to them, and not get rid of it, but help them understand what has happened to their community and how they build from that pain, so that that pain build over them. Because you can build on top of a house, or a house can be built on top of you. And what these instructors and counselors want to do is help us maneuver through it, because it's something that we've always put off. And I watched a video of a guy. He didn't even know he had anxiety. He had this rash. He was dealing with all this stuff because he was supposed to go to a talk in front of these people. He knows anxiety. He didn't know. But when he actually talked to his brother about it, his brother was like, yeah, when I was young, I had it too. And then when he talked to his dad about it, his dad admitted, yeah, I had it too. But they never talked until they were in their 30s and 40s. How many years do you miss of your life not getting counseling? How many years of your life do you put it off, that you missed having the best time of your life because you didn't talk to somebody about it professionally that can help you maneuver through it? And we don't understand that messes up our workspace. Sometimes it messes up our things that we're trying to do to build for ourselves and our community. And I know we've been through so much trauma, because for all those years of slavery, it was beat into us that this is the way it's supposed to be. And remember, those fears of your grandparents and great grandparents passes on to you, to where their fears are your fears, and your fears become your kids' fears. That's all traumatic. There's actually a syndrome for that. It's a doctor, I can't think of her name. She said she calls it post-traumatic slave syndrome, is what she calls it. It's a whole theory that she's written.
We all got it.
She's in schools, that we do have it. And if you don't talk to somebody about it, your mentality, it's not that you can't change, it's that you you limit yourself to things that you can break out of, and you just simply take a few sessions to talk to someone about your trauma, and they'll help you deal with it. But the Black community, these talks that we're having now in 2020, we didn't have in 2000, and we sure didn't have it in 1990s, 1980s, because we always kept saying that's for white people, that's other people, that's for them, that ain't for us. You don't tell nobody your business, because your mom always told you that. Don't you tell nobody what goes on in this house. What goes in the house, stay in this house. But that's a problem, because what goes on in the house was breaking you down. What was going on inside the house was tearing you apart, and you didn't tell anybody. And then you pass it on to your kids, and what you're realizing is you're boxing them up to where they can't talk to somebody about their own stress. And it's not, and it's real. It's not a demon. It's not an evil spirit. It's real. What say y'all?
It was a lot. I think I want to hear CJ get it.
No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
I got this one. I could go ahead and go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Right. So one thing I just want to say real quick, like Black folks are 20% more likely to have psychological stress. And the reason for that is systemic racism. We have to understand in Black homes, our parents are very hard on us. They treat us a certain way because of the fear of what is out there. So as a Black person, you're always stressed because of the fear of police or the fear of going to a store and how someone may treat you, so on and so forth. Now, as Black people, I think the reason we are not seeking this attention is Black men especially are raised to believe, you don't cry, you know what I'm saying? It's a weakness. Talking about these things, talking about mental issues is a weakness for Black folks. We don't want to be labeled or prideful. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain stigma, especially when you grow up in homes it's like no weakness. We don't do that weak shit over here. You know what I'm saying? So I think we have to change the stigma of Black folks feeling like if they get attention or they have some type of mental illness that they're going to be labeled as weaker, even by their own family, or by their own friends. You know what I'm saying? So really, big part of that, and what Black folks do is they self-medicate or they isolate, because versus trying to tell somebody I'm sad inside or I feel this way or that way, that's not easy for a Black person to do, especially when usually you're going to white people to talk to about it. And now a white person, not to be rude, they got to tell you something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, really hard for us. And we really got to change the way we just look at mental illness altogether, because Black folks, I mean, even in this time, we're strong as hell. We're watching the world have all these negative things to say, but as Black people, we smile, you know what I'm saying? We dance, we good. Even in the slave days, we were singing. So we have always been told,
oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? Don't talk about our issues, about our problems, because it's a weakness if we do. And we have to start with our children. It's not weak. You know what I'm saying? It's not a weakness. It's a strength to talk about weakness, and we just got to change that whole thing. And that's all I got to say on that.
She's absolutely right, because I even saw it as a weakness in me. If I thought I shared my feelings or truly how I feel about something, because I felt like that made me not good enough to have the things that God has given me, because I'm expressing some form of weakness to somebody. And another aspect to me, to tag on to what you were saying, was money, because I felt like it cost too much money to talk to somebody. When I would hear stories about how much someone would have to pay to see a counselor, how much someone would have to pay to see. But I want to hear from Ron on the military standpoint of this, him being prior military, and how important, especially as a Black man in the military, is mental health, well-being. Because mental health, the definition is your well-being of your mind, your state of well-being. How important is this, Ron?
So when we're talking about mental health, I think I'm going to be a little bit of a devil's advocate.
Okay.
Because in America, all we talk about is all of the problem with all the different institutions. And I know from the military, when you are going to get help, there's not really a lot of the right places and options that you can go to.
Mm-hmm.
And as y'all were talking, I kept thinking about one movie scene when my man from Get Out went to go get therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I know, because I had a career in the military, that you do end up in some situations like that, depending on who you go to for where you get your help.
Right.
And you just gotta be careful, because you never know who you can end up in a session with that's trying to get specific things out of you that they may not even understand. Like in the military, I did not have a single Black counselor. That's a decade of service. So we're talking about our people needing to go out and get help. But is there really help for us to get?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's legit. That's real. That's real. We got to change.
That's a good question.
There's a lot of damage that can be done with it. And I think that's a shame, because I can't think of anywhere where it's like we can go as Black people. Because we have that as post-traumatic slave disorder.
Yeah, you're right.
We all have generational curses. We all have crazy family, all kinds of things that's in our blood. And we don't really have those sources to go to.
Right.
You're right.
Right.
You're right.
You hit it on the head, because we can't, it's like we can't, you see your uncle, you see your aunt, you see your parent, you see it, and some of the family may laugh it off and say, oh, they just acted silly. But it's deeper than that. And because we just laugh it off or dismiss it as if it's not important, that person never gets the help that they need. But at the same time, who can they really trust to get the help from, of somebody that won't label them and put them on? And here's the thing. Hear what I'm saying. Medicine is really good for things like this, because I know a lot of people that are on medicine and it helps them be able to simply think, because a lot of people cannot think, that I know personally. Medicine helps. It brings your balance that you want inside your mind, so I can process simple functions.
What kind of medicine you talking about though?
It's like, well, Wellbutrin is really good. Wellbutrin is a really good medicine. It does a great balance to you. And I know what you're gonna get to, CJ. That's why I'm already smiling a little bit.
I didn't say anything. I just said what medicine.
Because that's a great option.
Questions.
But you know, military personnel has to stick with a certain kind. But you're absolutely right, CJ.
I didn't say nothing.
You're right.
I didn't say nothing.
People agree with you.
All I said was what kind of medicine. I said I was gonna ask questions. Was no argument.
But I want us to listen to what Ron and Nina had stated. We have to get to a point in our community, because we have a lot of solutions that we've been talking about for weeks upon weeks. But if mentally you're not in the right space, these solutions are great, but you won't be able to grasp it and understand how it will benefit and empower you if you have mental issues that you're dealing with. The best pastors, and I'll talk about the pastor profession, the best pastors that I've talked to are the ones that say they have a counselor. Because think about it, as a pastor, everybody dumps their problems on you 24/7. They're always calling you to fix everything. Who do you talk to when somebody throws on you 3,000 different things that's going on with them? You need a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I love Jesus too, but I also have to need to talk to somebody physically and let them help me maneuver through these issues.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to convince our family to take part in their mental health and their mental well-being? Because I love yoga. I've seen yoga. I didn't like it at first, but I've gotten used to seeing it. And I'm like, okay, I can see what it does. Look at Rod, he gets stretched. I understand. How are we going to convince our people to partake in the mental health of their well-being? What are we going to do? This can't continue. We can't just keep looking at our uncles and aunts and cousins and being like, they'll get over it. And we know they won't. What do we do?
Yeah.
Do we have conversations? Do we just look at them? What do we do?
You gotta have conversation. It's education. It's with everything. It's we're not self-aware. Like, I mean, everything is crazy because right now in this time you realize all the information and history and things that we still learning, and we're just not self-aware. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, I mean, sometimes just as ignorant as white people are to our history, unfortunately, so are black folks. You know what I'm saying? Younger generation, and it's just education, and it's changing the stigma because like even TV, everything we do, it just has a certain image of just black people. It's a certain. We just got to change the way we think and the way we present things, and we do got to talk to our family members because that's the thing. We don't like to deal with things like that. We don't like to have. We don't like to do that because we grew up in tough families, you know what I'm saying? But we do have to start, like I like to say, I want to start this new thing. It's like, just loving black, like love each other. Like, and that's the thing in the black community is not only are we taught to hate ourselves and each other, and we just gotta change it all. Is really what we have to do. Like, we got to change everything. The way we think, everything's got to be changed. The whole dang system got to be just remade.
My wife literally just said that. She said, I've been fortunate to have 2 black counselors in the last 2 years. Prior to that, not one. It's hard to speak candidly to someone that you feel you can't relate to as if your struggle is. What she's really saying is so profound because what you all just said, especially you, Nina and Ron, if you don't look like me, you can't understand my trauma. You keep trying to pretend like you understand. You can even say the words, I understand, but you don't. You don't know the tears. You don't know the pain. You don't know the heartache. You don't know when I wake up, all the things I have to do to try to protect myself when I go in public to not look like a threat. Like that becomes my world. I don't want to be like Nina would say, an angry black woman, and CJ would say, an angry black man, and Ron would say, I don't want to look like a pushover either and look like I'm weak. And these are our daily lives that plague us, and we pass on to our kids without, not on purpose, but we only know what we know.
Yep, pass on that anxiety, just right on to them.
Right, that anxiety can be easily passed on. You're right, and the hurt, we want so bad to break free of it. But that's why I appreciate so many Black mental health counselors that are trying to open up and are going to get these degrees, whether it's an HBCU or it's a PWI. They're getting these degrees and trying to say, I want to go back to my community and help somebody because I don't want somebody to grow up the way that I did. Even though you may grow up in the same situation, I don't want you to grow up without having access to a world of mental health that can help you get through it. I can't take away the fact of your mom and what happened to her. I can't take away the fact that your dad might be on drugs. And I can't take away the fact that your uncle and your aunts might be drunkards. And I can't take away the fact that your lights sometimes aren't on and your water sometimes not running. But you have to understand that is what brings the anxiety and the stress that we're, so you can get through it. Yeah, I got through it, but I left pieces of me on the way. Pieces of me are behind me when I was trying to get through that. How do I get those pieces back to make one whole of me again? Because what you're seeing today is a piece of me, but I want you to see all of me. I want you to embrace all of me. And mental health does that. It helps put me back together so that I can love someone, all of them. Because if only a piece of me can love you, that's because pieces of me are missing. And I think we're in a position now today to say, people, seek mental health facilities for help. Please, don't let these opportunities of free health care in some of these places and free 8 weeks, 6 weeks pass you by. George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Kendrick Johnson, all those things are on our kids that we have to understand something. When Sandy Hooks happened and when Columbine happened, do you know those white people went and got counseling? They put their kids right in counseling.
Yep.
And help see their way through a traumatic situation. Black people, we have to do the same because our kids are seeing these things online, and I don't want them desensitized as if this is the norm.
Exactly.
Get help. Any final comments on that?
Nope.
As a brother who does not believe in going to tell somebody who I don't know about my problems, opening up, like just being that guy. Like, of course, I have people who I confide in. Of course, Ron, Ush, y'all already know. But I just don't feel comfortable speaking with somebody like that. But hearing you all's perspective, it definitely leaves me open to say, okay, it may be all right if I speak with someone, because it is maybe not something wrong with me, because Ush, and you said it, and you took every word out of my mouth. You're raised to say, don't you tell nobody our business. Like things that you see, you told to keep it to yourself. Like, we're Black people, we're not nosy. We don't do different things like that. But nothing in me can go to somebody who does not look like me.
Yeah.
But at least if I need it, so if I need to get something out, it's nothing wrong with seeking someone who looks like me. And I'm imagining that, when I sit down and talk to them, they'll kind of give me a little bit about them to make me feel more comfortable. I'm sure they do that, just like any counseling you go to. But like I've been to marital counseling, in the past, for the good, and they let you know it's real comfortable and whatnot. So I can understand why you would do that in your personal life. So that maybe something I'll seek in the future. I appreciate the lesson.
Well, I would like to add on to what you said real quick. Because you, like you said, somebody is against the institution. And I just wanted to say something that I firmly believe in. When you are in these moments of depression, sadness, and pain, it's pure loneliness. You're beating yourself up, you're down on yourself, and you're just putting yourself into a corner.
Yep.
I said something very simple. It is not good for a man to be alone. And that's what I love what CJ said. He said, I don't want to go talk to somebody I don't know. So my thing is, as a Black community, we need to make it together to where our brother does not have to be alone.
Let's go.
Share that burden alone. You're right. We need to start talking to each other. We need to start reaching out to each other, saying, being there for one another. We really do, because if anyone's going to understand, is each other.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Y'all, we pausing for a second now because we got to go into, that was the topic. I don't want y'all to ever forget that. Y'all make sure to replay that, those first two topics, replay them. Now we got to pause for a second. Ron, gift cards. It's your turn, homie.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a whole controversy on our hands, but we are 50 minutes into this Thursday night. So I ain't going to get into it. I ain't going to start throwing shots and shade and coming at my homies.
What you do?
Let's just give our gift cards out, because we got 3 winners, and we need to take care of the people that show up and support the show.
You petty CJ with them eyes. Look at.
So apparently CJ got these 2 cousins that came out of nowhere and won.
2 cousins?
What? 2 cousins?
We've had no verification.
Now he's making us.
They haven't shown back.
Please forgive this guy.
But it's all love. So we need either an email or phone number from our loyals when we do our game contest. Send it to our DM. We will hook you up with our gift card. So CJ, we need those 2 email, and Ush, Mr. Sinclair, we have to hook up.
So let me tell you all, to dispel a little bit of
wrong. Here we go.
The minute that Sinclair won the gift card, I text Sinclair. Sinclair sent me his email, which I sent to Ron. But Ron does have Sprint as cell phone. And something Sprint does, it deletes text messages. I didn't know it did that, because apparently Ron has lost the message.
Wow, the shade.
But anyway, so I will make sure to re-send you the text message I already sent you, because I do want him to get his gift card. I appreciate you, Ron, for reaching out. Thank you so much in my most sarcastic voice I can give you. I appreciate you.
So I will give y'all the backstory, since he had to give his 2 cents.
Where my 2 cents?
Just because we have a guest. We were supposed to be doing our gift card giveaways alive.
2 cents around here.
This is the first time we've brought up gift cards in like a month and a half. And you can tell who the host is, right? You know, I say more. But now that we're doing it, we're going to give it away. As a matter of fact, we're going to give another gift card away tonight because we got a question for y'all to try to solve. Since us did just
I'm back. Sorry. I had to go find 2 cents. I got it right here.
CJ, do you got these email? Us. We're going to do a giveaway question tonight.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it.
Now, Nina, I will say this. I know you're a guest on the show. Ron, even though he's taking a while, he's actually still more organized than I am. So I can't really throw shade right now.
I explained it to her. How this is really
My 2 cents right here in case y'all ask for it.
Oh my goodness, y'all.
All right, how hard is this question? I ain't trying to like.
It's actually the one you gave me.
I can't answer.
Malcolm X's 2 original name. Before we get off of here, you comment in our section. We want his original name and then his tribe of Islam name.
Right.
Don't be cheating.
That's good.
Any of our co-hosts
I like that. I like that.
Put it in the comments because I know all of them. Put them in the comment. That's my boy. Thank you, Ron.
Let's get back on schedule.
For blessing us with your presence of the question. Y'all don't forget that question. Moving on to our next topic. Are sports essential during these protests and COVID-19? And I'm going to caveat this for Black people. TJ, what you think about that? Oh, is that Ron? Ron, that's yours. Ron, go ahead. That's yours.
I was actually doing the gift cards. I missed everything you just said.
Again, are sports essential?
I thought that's what we're doing
during these protests.
I got it.
You even posted the question.
I got it. That's what I thought you did. Okay. I just wanted to make sure because y'all see the background.
We see the background.
And we're going to come on in this show and ask if sports are essential.
Mm-hmm.
Nina, should the NBA come back?
Oh, yes you want to ask me the one of the.
I just want a yes or no before I go on a tangent.
Honestly, I think right now, no, it's not important right now. We got better things to focus on at this very moment. That's
okay. That has been a lot of people, and it makes sense. So let me take a drink real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, go ahead and get it now.
Do y'all not understand how sports has united people throughout all of history? I'm sitting here looking at an article about apartheid when it's in Africa. Mm-hmm. Y'all know what helped get rid of it? The soccer national team when they came together and won a championship. Do we need to talk about Muhammad Ali, Colin Kaepernick, these, especially Colin, because his impact wouldn't have happened if this NFL was not playing games. He wouldn't have been able to kneel. And one thing that we're talking about is that our community needs to come together.
I agree, but I mean, right now with the COVID is the question. Like right now, I mean, I guess maybe the question.
So what I'm gonna get to is the only sports that need to come back.
Because he will do that.
The only sports that need to come back is if you impact the market and you dictate, culture, society, and you have a huge impact. The NBA.
Okay, so who are you talking about impacting?
The entire nation.
But basketball players coming back to play basketball will move the needle for Black people. Stop getting killed.
1,000%.
Explain that.
So in 2011,
because we
Trayvon Martin.
But just before you say that, Michael Jordan is the only owner in the NBA, the only Black owner. So
Michael Jordan's the only Black owner in America.
Okay, so outside of the players, we're gonna say the major players, the billion-dollar people in the game, the 1%ers in the NBA, are white. So when basketball goes back to be played, money's going back in their pockets. Now I need.
What is the largest Black conglomerate of millionaires?
There has to be Black athletes in the NBA.
That's the biggest one. That's the only one. The NFL's close, but NFL players get like 200,000. The Black millionaires are in NBA. So we're saying these white billionaires are getting the money, but the main industry that has the majority of the money that goes in our community, although we only can keep it in our communities within 6 hours before we, send it to.
Are you saying the Black athletes that are making this money, are they taking this money you believe they need to so they can continue to donate and help with the protest and the cause that we have?
Absolutely. That's money for the Black community. There's so many NBA players on the surface that we see. They're doing so much. And that's just what we see.
But with COVID-19 and it being a contact sport in the NBA, and how we have a lot of the pre-existing health conditions, a lot of us in the NBA before we were shut down tested positive for the COVID. Why we want to come back?
That's what I was kind of,
It's a shut up and dribble move. Shut up and dribble.
You think it's shut up and dribble?
Shut up and dribble move.
See, CJ is giving different angles. He's saying it shouldn't come back for Black Lives Matter. Are we talking BLM or COVID?
I'm talking about BLM. I mean, you have states that have been protesting for 32 months, 32 days, 34 days straight, and they're no longer getting media coverage. They're trying to cover it up like silencers. They're trying to wake us out. And I feel like when you have look, Maya Moore. Let me find her. Maya
Moore. She sat out the past.
She sat out
2 years.
Listen, she sat out a whole season for a brother that was in prison serving a 50-year sentence.
We got a lot of power. We start sending stuff out.
And he got out. He just got out. This was like either today or yesterday. He just got out. Can you imagine if LeBron or Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving said, we not playing?
Come on now.
Justice for our brothers.
Yes.
Now, do you know what kind of power we got? But they see what kind of power we have, and it's like, okay, we need to get these Negroes back on the court. We need to get them dribbling that ball so we can give these folks something else to think about and worry about. That's why I'm not a Dwight Howard fan, but Dwight Howard, when he agreed with Kyrie, I say, Dwight, that's probably the first thing I ever agreed with Dwight Howard in my life. It's not a time to play ball. Now, I'm not for keeping a brother from getting his money. Now, there are players in the NBA who need that check. And I brother, if y'all go back, it's not like I'm going to root against you, no doubt. But if you asking me, this is not a time. It's time we got to keep applying the pressure to the powers because they see us folding. They see they're folding. We see this stuff happening. We got television sitcoms and banks and all these people doing all this stuff around us to support Black Lives Matter. It's time for us. We got the power. We are it.
We got to start holding them accountable. The richer people in society, like, you know what I'm saying? The actresses, the actors, the basketball players, the football players, like everybody we look up to and we spending our money on, we got to start holding them accountable.
And I understand with the NBA. The NBA is so progressive. The NBA, to me, is the best league or association. They have it figured out. But the NBA, we need for those players in the NBA and the NBA as a whole to put pressure on other entities like MLS, like the NFL, like the World Cup, like around the world, put pressure on those entities to do the same thing. If not, Black people done. And they know, and they say they want us to go back to Africa. They want us to go back to Africa.
Why would they? Why would they?
But it's not.
Why would somebody? Here's my
it's
question.
not why would they. It's about when we wake up and realize the power that we have. So I'm not. They're not. If we don't act, they're not going to do anything differently. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because when basketball,
so we saying we just don't watch them on TV, right? You're saying things like that. Don't buy their tickets.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if everybody stuck together, those brothers would not play. They would say, "Go find somebody else to ball." But it's at
I like that idea. Also,
I'm not asking somebody to sacrifice it all because I know I'm not in a situation where I can sacrifice it all. So I like, please don't let me be that guy who's coming off to be like, I don't want these guys to get paid. That's not it. But I'm saying if the major players in the game, if the LeBrons, the KDs, the Kyrie Irving said, we're not playing. If they pull a Muhammad Ali at the top of your game, I'm done. Until things get right. That's how change is made. That's where sports comes into play. That's why sports are so important.
Ron,
it's not the actual play in the game. It's the works around the game.
Ron, what you got? Shaking his head no. Talk to us, Ron.
But I am gonna watch LeBron Yam on somebody.
I'm just sick of hearing CJ.
Talk, Ron. Why?
Oh no.
Why?
Because I already said the NBA is the black billionaire conglomerate. So you're telling me in the midst of a dying nation, America, we're in multiple pandemics.
It's the black billionaire what?
The conglomerate for black millionaire.
But there's a lot of black millionaires that's in the NFL too, though.
You want to compare the numbers? It's nothing close to the NBA.
It's not.
I mean, there's not a lot of millionaires in the NFL.
Okay, but there's more. But there's more black players in the NFL than there are the NBA because there's more players.
Yeah, but they make like 100,000, 250.
But
say millionaires.
But when you talk about numbers, but it's still a white man's game, and the billionaires are white men. There's only a handful of black men in the NBA that make that kind of money. But let's be real.
That's why
and that just happened today because your favorite player is Larry Bird. Just 30 years ago, white people was dominating the NBA. Let's not pretend the NBA is just, I mean, they're a great league, dog, but come on, bro. Let's be real right now.
Why you did that?
Come on,
DJ, all of your facts are literally not true and don't make sense. Okay. My point that I was going to get to, I'm just going to disregard what you said. Why? Listen, Nina, what I was saying is we got all of this going on. You telling me we have an opportunity to put all of America's eyes on some motherfucking black athletes.
Which we've been
that's
doing
all
forever.
They're gonna see is that's what's gonna be on TV. It's gonna be these black athletes talking about. You think they ain't gonna be talking about what's going on? You think they ain't gonna be talking about Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd all day? And the NBA already approved that the players don't gotta wear their last name. You can put whatever message you can want on your jersey. You can put Black Lives Matter. You can put this. You can put that.
Like that's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
If they're doing things to start the cause.
My bad. Hey, you know what?
And I know these white billionaires are gonna get their money, but guess what? They get it at Walmart. They get it at FedEx. They get it everywhere else.
Oh, hey, listen here.
But we're gonna stop these dudes.
No, Ron. And I apologize because I did not know that. Now, if the NBA comes back,
me neither,
and they're talking about, I'm not looking at no tissue paper commercials. I'm looking at real hard facts about what black people got going on in America, and they're trying to really help us out. Then I'm all for the NBA coming back.
If the NBA is not 1,000% about that and only that, turn it off.
Okay, good. I hope you say that because the first Charmin commercial come on, I'm going to screenshot it for you.
Here's my issue.
Oh.
See, here's my issue. I like what everybody is saying, but here's the issue that I have, which is why I don't want them to come back.
You said don't come back?
I don't want them to come back. Here's why. So somebody that sits up in this Oval Office was cool with jobs closing down. They was cool with it. It was great with it until they realized we were making more money sitting at home than we were at work. Do you know when he said we need to open all these jobs back up and get everybody back to work? Do you know the frontline worker in most of these places of jobs that open back up were African American who have more of the pre-existing conditions? who are more prone to catching the COVID-19. The only reason they opened it back up is because you and I have more of the frontline jobs than anybody else in food and service and health
Exactly,
industry.
essential.
So guess who caught it more than anybody else when they opened back up? We did. So when you open back up an NBA stadium, most of your vendors in these places, we'll say they all gonna meet in the ESPN at Disney World, are going to be, guess who? Guess who's going to be on your food trucks? Guess who's going to be on your haircuts, your hair salons, and all those places? So guess what that means we're going to take back to our community? COVID-19. Because even in the stadium, we have more of the trash jobs there. We have more of the vending jobs there. That is us.
Look like
So
me.
I'm not thinking about a player when we
No.
open back up the NBA stadium. I'm thinking about the rest of us and what we're going to take back to our community, not the NBA player. So that means we become lab rats, liabilities for our communities, a place where the disease can run rampant and go crazy. I'm all for, of course, you know this, for the Black Lives Matter, and I'm all for us protesting with those athletes. But you know what? Most of these athletes can already do that on their Instagram, on their Facebook. They already do this. So just because they're at a court doing it is no different than them doing it right now on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and all those other places.
Eyes on me, like
it's
Pac
already
said.
on them.
No, ain't no white folks on Kevin Durant's Instagram.
You a lie? You want to know how many followers you got that's black? Oh, bro.
The basketball fans, I'm talking about old white people that just sit and watch CBS.
Bro, we ain't talking to them. Us. We ain't talking to them because they're not going to look at that anyway. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. It's our movement. We're talking about our movement. Matter of fact, us as the people we should be doing more than any of those NBA athletes anyway. We should have a bigger impact than them because LeBron is only when you go on TV, but I'm in my community right now. Kevin Durant is only when he goes on the NBA TV. I'm in my community right now. I should be impacting my neighbor. Period. So my point is, I don't want us to be systemically accessed to the COVID virus when the NBA comes back or the NFL comes back, because guess what's going to happen? You and I are going to catch that. Period, point blank. And we know CJ had to go, y'all. CJ had to go because somebody was coming to his house. So he already said he had to go earlier. So don't worry. He's not walking off. He just had to go. But
I stopped this video.
That's the most important thing that I need us to understand. I'm with you, Ron, but I feel Nina too. I feel y'all.
I feel both ends. Like, there's pros and cons. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can see both.
It's hard.
I'm just stuck between the two.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
That.
Do we want them to play and risk, or do we want, but also get the message out of what we stand for, or do we not play and we have to do the impact?
Look, you already gave us the answer. You said they can already do that now on their Instagrams, Twitters, whatsoever. So my question is, if they come back, do you think more or less is going to be being done? More.
But they already have access. Most of those are already talking on ESPN, things that people already watch. Most of them are already talking on Fox Sports South, the things that people already watch, and Fox News and stuff. They're already on these platforms. The main athletes we want to see are already having these conversations on these sites. So what more do they need to do? They're going to end up just dribbling the basketball down. And then that's when the people are going to try to step in and censor them. No, don't. We're saying now you can do it, but we know what happens when you get back and you really start doing it. Oh, no, you can't do it anymore. By the way, you signed this contract. They can take it away. They can't take away my voice while I'm not playing for you. When I start playing for you, you can take my voice away. We know this. We've seen this. We witnessed this. And I don't know that
we're going to turn this into a sports.
We are.
I'm not going to debate you anymore.
CJ say let him back in.
I don't agree with you.
CJ say let him back in, Ron.
Oh,
CJ say let him back in, bro. He back. Open it up. Look here. Look here. We gotta move on to our next one because that's the hot one. Nina, this is your topic.
Uh-oh.
Are we celebrating July 4th or nah?
Wow.
Yes, Nina, take us away.
Absolutely not. We are not celebrating that holiday.
Let's go.
Let me first of all tell you, it ain't even just about the fact that America gained its independence in 1776 and we weren't even free to what 1863, then 1865. That's beside the point. So I'm sticking to June 19th. That's our holiday. But it's not so much of like, oh, just forget the 4th. Like what it is right now is America is failing us as Black people right now. We cannot celebrate this holiday until there is liberty and justice for everybody. Otherwise, what the hell are we doing celebrating the 4th of July when we are being killed in the streets? Our education, our housing, our healthcare is not even doing us no justice. So why, as Black people, I cannot stand, I'm holding everybody accountable. Black people, white people, my friends and my family. We are not celebrating this holiday this year. Like, why would we even think that was an option right now? No, hell, I'm sorry.
Y'all better not buy a single firework.
Don't apologize. Keep going, Nina. Don't apologize. Keep going.
Listen, we are not doing it because you know what? We are still, even after we were free, they still put things in place to keep us enslaved. Whether it was through the labor prisons, whether it's through the systemic racism, like so many things that have to be changed. Like I've said before,
right.
The system is not broken. The system is made exactly how they want it to be. And in order to fix it, we cannot vote our way out of it. We have got to change it. We have to dismantle it and rebuild it. And that's scary for some people, but we have to change the whole system because it is built against Black people, period. Point blank, it is built against us. And until we fix that, we cannot celebrate the 4th of July. We just can't be a part of it. And that's all I'm gonna say there. And I'm done with that little rant.
Ron?
I concur. I think we are all going to say, I mean, CJ was back there crumping it.
Nina was spitting fire and truth.
Bro,
go ahead, Ron. Ron, you still going or you want to see it? Go ahead.
No, Ron, go. Let Ron go.
I'll just toss a question in here. Should white America celebrate?
Nope.
They shouldn't be.
Nope. If you with us and you watch, you say you love us and your brothers and sisters being killed in the street and we're not getting justice and you celebrate that holiday as a white person, don't say you stand with me. I ain't messing with people. People getting deleted out of my life right now. Do not think do that and think our oppression it is not okay. If you gonna say you love us, show us. I am holding everybody accountable. We are not so even white people. Do not say you love us and know what's going on and still want to rep that red, white, and blue. I'm not messing with you. I'm not messing with you if you are. Period. Everybody on my Facebook know that. I ain't messing with you.
Talk to us, CJ.
I have never been able to say this, but I am at a loss for words, bro. I have nothing to say. I cannot add any more than what's already been said. Every note I had, every T cross, every I dotted was hit on, and I don't feel like it needs to be repeated. But I cannot express how much I feel the same way. The 4th of July is supposed to be in this Independence Day, and it's supposed to be Independence Day for all Americans. And Black people are the greatest Americans to ever live. We're the greatest people to ever be a part of America. We suffer and still suffer through so much. Right. Our parents, and I know white people, when they see their parents and grandparents going off to fight wars, they have a very different experience than our parents and grandparents. Because I know plenty of people, like I know people who served in the military was saying, I'm glad Colin Kaepernick is kneeling. Then I have a white guy telling me that it's disrespectful because my cousin served. Well, if you don't get, I cannot, like all I say is, like everything you said, it was so eloquently put, and I don't even want to try to double talk it, but everything you said was correct. I cannot add or take away nothing from that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I have to read something because you all know I like to dive into history. Black people, if you're watching this, listen. White people, if you're watching, you need to listen. Don't cut this broadcast off right now while I read this. So on July 5th, 1852, in Corinthian Hall, Rochester, they invited Frederick Douglass to speak. You may or may not be familiar this, my African American and Caucasian brothers and sisters, but they invited him to speak on July 5th, the day after Independence Day, because he was such an eloquent speaker. And he wrote something to speak on. And I'm going to read what he said. His text was called, "What to the Slave is the 4th of July?" He said, "Fellow citizens, pardon me, allow me to ask, why am I called to speak up here today? What have I or those I represent to do with your national independence?
Come on,
Are
man.
the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us? And am I therefore called upon to bring our humble offering to the national altar and to confess the benefits and express devout gratitude for the blessings resulting from your independence to us? I say it with a sad sense of disparity between us. I am not included with the pale of glorious anniversary. Your high independence only reveals the immeasurable difference between us. Would to God for both of our sakes and yours that an affirmative answer could be truthfully returned to these questions. Then will my task be light and my burden easy and delightful. For there is so cold that a nation's sympathy could not warm him. Who could actually do from the dead the claims of gratitude that would not thankfully acknowledge such priceless benefits? Is this for me? But in such a state of case, I say with a sad sense, this ain't for me. This is not mine. The 4th of July is yours, not mine. You can rejoice, but I have to mourn. Frederick Douglass said, how do you have the nerve to ask me to speak on a day that has nothing to do with me? How dare you ask me to get up here and orate something when in 1852 we were still in slavery? This day has nothing to do with me. I'm in shackles and chains. When I get done here, back to the field we go. And you want me to sit there and celebrate with Massa and all his friends that, oh, this is our Independence Day. In 1776, we were still slaves. We were still on plantations, still picking cotton, indigo, rice, sugar canes, you name it, we were doing it. So how do you expect me to celebrate with you on a day that means nothing to me? My people, Nina is right, CJ is right, Ron is right. Independence Day for me is going to be Juneteenth Part 2.
Thank you.
That's what's going to be for me.
Let's go.
We're going to be celebrating Juneteenth all over again. Black on black on black on black.
Black on black on black on black.
You hear what I'm saying? Like, America, you need to get behind the fact that you know good and doggone well in 1776, when those fireworks, when that war went off, when it was signed, Declaration of Independence, saying freedom, I didn't even make it to a 3/5 compromise yet. I wasn't even 3/5 of a man at that point. Don't you ever tell me that that's my independence. Don't you ever tell me that that was my freedom. Because until 1865 of June 19, I had nothing.
And it's
I don't want to hear nothing about it.
Free-ish.
Right.
Free-ish.
Free-ish.
Ish.
ISA. And Frederick Douglass had it right. And when I saw that and saw what he said, you doggone right, it's Juneteenth Part 2. That's what I expect us to do. Black on black. Take the day tomorrow to Saturday to educate your family, your sons and your daughters on our freedom is actually June 19th.
June 19th.
That's all you got to do.
Keep the money to the culture.
Somebody else said it this way too. Sorry to cut y'all off. Somebody else said this too. Do you see white people on Juneteenth breaking out spare ribs, hot dogs,
they ain't doing that.
Hamburgers, potato salad? They ain't breaking out on June 19th, so why are we breaking out on Independence Day? I'm done.
Thank you.
Hey, my neighbors was looking at the holiday. My neighbors was looking at me like I was crazy, bro. They ain't know what was going on.
That's the problem. We had conversations with people. A lot of people up here don't even know Juneteenth even existed. They don't know what's going on.
Hey, the amount of noise we made, they know now. Believe that. They don't mark that on the calendar, boy.
Right?
We turned up enough.
Go, y'all.
My holiday end.
Let's go. Any more comments on that before we move on to our last final thought? Anything?
If you can, spend your money on July 4th, only buy black. And if you can, keep your money at home. Show them. Let them feel it.
Talk their language.
Let them feel it. They speak more
remember,
in money. We can impact them in the money on that day.
Right. Because remember, them commercials, them Independence Day sales, that's just for your money. That's not for you.
Keep your money to us.
50% off sales, that's not for you. That's just to get your money because that's not your independence. Your independence was 2 weeks ago. Think about that. Last but not least, final thought. July 7th. It's this whole thing we've been talking about. You spend no money, blacking out everything. My question is to you, because I've gotten some feedback from people that said they ain't doing that because they said over the years they tried to do that and they have not seen the numbers be consistent. Will this year be different than any other year on July 7th?
It will. It will.
Why? Talk to us. Why?
People are awake right now, man. Like you've never seen it. Like, I mean, alone, I've had so many shares on my Facebook alone about July 7th. Like, I've never seen so many people. And this is the thing. It's not just Black people. It's white people, like, that are really, like, I mean, there's not all white people are with it, but there's a lot that are, like, they're trying to make change. And this is the thing. This is the one time that, like, I feel like everyone's going to be with it. So if you're going to do it, let's do it. Let's talk their language. Let's hit them. Like, what is it going to hurt? Like, honestly, what is it going to hurt by all getting together and just not doing it on the 7th, one day? Like, we can't fail. All it could do is do good. Like, there's no reason to just not do it. Let's just unite all over the United States right now and do something that we can all do as a whole. And again, talk what the oppressor knows. The oppressor is about money. They understand money. Like, we got to hit them where it matters. It is not that complicated for one day, guys, to not spend money. One day, bro. Like, I'm not to be rude, but most people ain't doing much for the movement anyway. Like, little things like this just contribute a little bit. One day. One day can make a difference. You know what I'm saying? So I'm for it. I'll do it. And I encourage all people on my Facebook. Matter of fact, I be demanding stuff sometimes that, like, this is what we need to do. Like,
CJ, talk to me.
I am not spending a dime on July 7th. I feel like, and I hate to use this guy's verbiage, but what do we have to lose?
That's what I'm saying.
What do you have to lose? And to oppose people who say, well, I've done it this day and nothing happened, I've done it that day. I'm not gonna lie. July 7th, outside of Juneteenth, I know we tried to start a little movement for Juneteenth. No Green or 19, in which we will continue to do every year. And then we was kind of talking about it on July 4th, you know, only spinning that. But if July 7th, like, I'm going to give it a go. And this is my first time hearing about Black people as a whole saying that they're going to say, I'm not going to spend my money on this day.
Blackout day.
And if I hear it from more than one Black person, I'm all in. It just is. And if you heard it from one Black person, why not be the second? Like, and then just tell one more person. Like, it just imagine, and then we do it the next year, and the next year, or maybe it has a huge impact, and the Black people see, well, damn, a third of us didn't spend money. So the next might be. You never know what it can do. So we put so much money, in their pocket, and money that we get, it doesn't circulate in our community. We get it and we give it right back to them. So if we can show them for one day what it's like to hold on to the dollar, not give it to something, just hold on to it. What did it do to their pockets, bro? I'm telling you.
$1.5 trillion spending power.
Let's go.
We spend a lot of money. We big consume. We as Black folks, we spend a lot of money.
And then one thing I will say though is that I don't want people to overbuy the day before or the day after. To kind of make up for it. So you kind of gotta see, and I feel like that's one reason. I figure that's one reason why T.I., when it came out, why he said it like, oh, it was a good month ago, some change, month and a half, 2 months ago, trying to give you time to prepare so you didn't overspend on one day or the next.
We gotta learn how to sacrifice though. Sacrifice is something that we don't like to do because it makes us uncomfortable and it makes us feel like we're not in control. But remember, you're sacrificing for somebody's life to be saved. You're sacrificing so somebody has the opportunity to live through any issue and not have to worry about or have to deal with some kind of police brutality or some kind of place taking advantage of them because of their money or somebody facing racial discrimination. That's what we're trying to do. We're saying we're doing this so you can change your police system. You can change the way you hire people. You can change the way you fire people. You can change the educational value. You can change so we can finally have a seat at the table and make moves, because we're trying to move from where we are to equality so we can have equity. That's all we're trying to do. That's like the formula, the magic formula that's out there. We're trying to get to equity. That's where we're trying to go. So I'm all for it. And I'm going to do the same thing, because of the three of us, that's three people that ain't spending no money, and it will make an impact. It will. Don't ever think you not spending money does not make an impact, because it does. Stop letting people let you look at numbers and make you think, well, the numbers aren't showing that. No. Anytime I don't spend a dime, I make an impact. And I don't care if I'm the only one. I'll be the only one. Because for years upon years upon years, most of the best leaders that ever came through the Black community were the only one, until they start building up a domino effect of people that start to follow them. Don't you ever let nobody make you feel indifferent because you are the only one. Because the only one will turn to 31, will turn to 61, 1,000,001. And I know it will happen. Starts with us. Ron, go ahead.
Preach to him, boy. Woo, Lord.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We need to get out.
I feel you, bro. Talk. Keep going. That's all you got?
That's all I got. We need to get out.
That's all he
I
got.
love what y'all saying. It's absolutely right. It's fine. So I was going to say, let's take it a step further.
Go ahead.
We need to black out every day. Does that mean not spend a single dollar? No, we need to survive. But we need to buy black every day.
Yep.
And completely shut down the market. But Killer Mike just released a documentary on Netflix that I would recommend everyone to go watch. And in that doc, we learned that you can't live black, because he was in Atlanta, the blackest part of America.
The Black
My
Utopia.
man ended up sleeping on a park bench, couldn't get a car because black people don't make no car. Couldn't go to no food because black people don't got no farms. All our food comes from where you think. So even if it's a black-owned restaurant, where do you think the food comes from? So we need to get out.
Oh, that'll preach all by itself, y'all. Y'all heard it from Ron. The last word on that one. We need to get out. It is us.
Ghana, here I come.
And create.
Let's go. Let me know the lot, Ron, so I can buy the next one next to you, bro.
So I do want to say this. Ghana has opened all citizenship up for Black African Americans.
Yeah, they said we. If we don't
said they ain't did that. Ghana said they ain't did that. Somebody
do a citizenship.
Don't want us to go.
He
want us to become equality.
So
you know what? It's good.
I
was gonna say it's good that, you know, when we make our move to Africa, and I want to say a good, you know, a lot of people gonna stay here. It's good because when I go over there and get mine, when I want to come back to the States, I want to have a king or a queen, you know, I can stay with. I ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah, folks act like they can't come back.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I need you to stay back. So we gotta have a few people stay back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's go.
Look here, y'all. Final thoughts, starting with, of course, our guest Nina. I want to say number one before she has her final thoughts. We appreciate her coming on the show, gracing us with her queenship, and blowing us away, which I already knew she had, with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that I knew she was going to bring. Miss Nina, what's your final thoughts you got for us?
First, I want to say thank y'all for having me. I really do appreciate it. This is the first time I ever did something like this, and it was nice. It was really nice. I loved it. But what I want to say is change is uncomfortable, and we're going to have to be uncomfortable to get the change we want to change. And, you know, it's like Angela Davis said, and I feel the same way. Like, I no longer want to accept the things I can't change. Like, I'm changing the things I can't accept. Like, that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done saying, oh, I'm only one person. We can't make a change. Like you said, one turns into two, turns into the 3, 4. Like, we got to rise, y'all. Like, it's time. Like, we got to put it together. We got to do this. And I'm just thankful for y'all. I'm thankful to be on here, and I'm thankful that we could, you know what I'm saying, let people hear our message. So that's all I got to say.
You're going to be back. You're going to be back real
soon.
Don't even worry.
Pleasure to have you.
You're going to be back.
Yes.
TJ, final thoughts.
Well, one, if we can get her back on, I can do half the studying for the show. because I know I don't have to do half my talking is going to be knocked out. So I appreciate that. But,
right.
Again, just for our listeners, we're all about the Black empowerment, the Black movement. We don't want to ever come across as we debate, we get into it, but at the end of the day, we're all for the movement. We're all trying to better the Black culture. We're trying to better Black people, and we love each other, and we just appreciate the culture. I mean, it's nothing else really to think about it. I am it's a pleasure to be on the podcast, and I had a great time this evening. It was a ball. It was a blast. It was a blast. Send y'all kids to HBCU.
Send them to HBCUs. Y'all heard what CJ said. HBCU. Ron, final thought.
I'll cue our outro music. Nobody said our guest from Malcolm X.
No, they did not. So they don't win anything. I'm
gonna get those emails from y'all when we get off of here.
The reason why they didn't give it to you is because they didn't think they was gonna get their prize because
I felt like that. I felt that.
Hold on.
I ain't gonna throw the music. I ain't get my final thought.
No, cut. No, that's your final thought. The music coming on right here. Sure. Cut it on, Ron. I hear you, Ron. Ron, he got me. Oh.
He thought about you, CJ.
I love you, Ron.
Make sure y'all go follow DASPK Easy in any platform and give us a follow. Thank y'all.
My final thought is simply this: before we roll, I want everybody to remember something that Malcolm X said. Nobody can give you freedom. Nobody can give you equality, justice, or anything. You're a man. You take it. All Malcolm X was saying is this. We've made, on this podcast today, we've given solutions to a lot of the issues that we face. But once we sign off at the end of the day, if we don't take this solution and make the phone calls, the text messages, and enroll where we're supposed to enroll, hook up with these places that can give us the mental health we need, sign up for these HBCU classes. If we don't start doing any of these things, then it's our fault if we don't get what we say we want to have. We are men and women. We have the power. We've been given the power. We are chosen to take what is ours. And we don't have to bloody nobody up for it. We don't have to beat nobody down for it, even though that sometimes may feel good. We're not advocating that. What we're advocating is simply take the power that you have in something called a cell phone and make it happen. Because if 45 can sit up there and tweet stupid stuff and it makes moves, then you and I can make moves. We have the same power, if not more than what he had. Because what he doesn't have, you and I have, is called a circle of wise influence. You change the circle, you throw a stone in the water, it causes a ripple effect, and that ripple goes as far as the stone that you throw. But you throw a heavier stone, it's a heavier ripple. And you throw a meteor, it blows something up. Y'all, I'm dynamite. I'm signing off. We done. Let's go.
I love us.
Ron, we out.
Cut my song back on, bro.
I switched it up.
You switched it up.
Hey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all for tuning in. CJ's out.